Hi. A couple of weeks ago, or actually a few months ago, maybe last month, the month before, I don't know, I asked you to ask me questions, and since then I've had about 20 questions, so I'm going to separate them into two videos. The first one is just going to be like a personal questions you've asked about me, and then the second one is going to be like an agony aunt sort of thing. I got a lot of questions that were like advice about transitioning and stuff, so I thought that would make a good second video, so we'll do that later. So I got my questions here and I'll just go through them. Let's just have a little chat. Okay, first one is, why did you change your name? I changed my name to Ocean in the summer of 2022. I haven't done it legally. I don't think I will. I don't mind the name I used before, which was Leo Matthias, and I had that name since 2012, I think, so I wasn't really planning on changing my name. I hadn't been thinking of it for long, but I kind of had this like weird spiritual experience during Trans Pride last year, and I heard the name and it felt like it was calling out to me, and like that should be my name, so I just took it. So I came back from Trans Pride and was talking to my therapist and was like, I really love the name, but I don't think I'm cool enough to have it. I feel a bit like an imposter by choosing a name that like I really like. And my therapist was like, do you want me to try calling you it? And they did, and then I was just really, it just made me feel really good, so I just went with it, asked everyone to start calling me it, and here we are. Second question is, what are your future lower surgery plans? I made a video recently explaining this, but basically the plan is to get a Mons resection with lipo in my hips and my thighs. There's a phrase for it, it's like masculinizing lipo or something like that, but that is all I'm going for at the moment. In the future I would potentially get urethral lengthening. I would like to do that, but because I'm going privately and abroad, it's not really doable this time round. So if the NHS allows me to do that in the future, then that would be great. Next question is, are you close with your parents? I would say yes, I am. We talk almost every day. We have video calls and stuff, even though I'm not very close to them physically. I think one thing that really helped us stay close throughout my transition was introducing my mum to videos of trans people talking to their parents and having that relationship, so she could see that other parents were supportive as well. Another thing which I think has made them more supportive is the fact that my sister passed away when I was 10. I think I've heard this with a lot of other people who have had siblings or children pass away. People realize that your child not going down the path that you had maybe planned for them or thought out for them isn't the worst thing to happen in the world, so it's fine. My parents actually paid for my top surgery when I was 17, and they paid for my private hormone therapy and all my doctor's appointments and stuff, because everything was private in the beginning, so I'm very lucky and privileged in that sense. Next question is, what inspired you to start sharing art of trans people? I don't think I'm alone in this, but I have a tendency to feel like things that I'm doing aren't really worth doing unless I'm sharing them online. I feel like there's like roadworks or something going on outside, so sorry for the noise. I started out with my personal Instagram, and then I wanted somewhere to just post my art, and then that turned out to be my Conscious Euphoria account now, and that was like 3 years ago. What's the most special about drawing trans bodies? The thing that I love most is when I get comments of people saying, this looks like me. I don't think there's anything that really beats that, because for so many of us, we can go years, if not our whole lives, never seeing ourselves represented in the media or art or anything like that. So the fact that I can draw that and have someone see themselves in it just makes me feel like it's so worth it. This question says, would you ever make art with diverse cis people? I feel like my answer might annoy some people. I always want the majority of my art to be trans people, because I'm trying to level out the imbalance of representation between cis people and trans people in the media. Obviously I'm not going to do that alone, because I'm just one fish in a very big sea, but that's the goal. I feel like there's way more representation of diverse cis people than there are of any trans people. So I guess that's not really a priority right now, and if I was to draw diverse cis people, it would be in a queer context, maybe with trans people as well. I guess the only thing that's differentiating the fact that the bodies that I draw, for the most part, is that I say that they're trans rather than cis, and I think because every body looks so different, the bodies that I am drawing could be cis as well. So I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, short answer is potentially, but it's not my priority. I do take commissions though, and I'm happy to draw most things on commission, and I've done lots of nude commissioned art for cis people, so yeah. This question says, what do your tattoos mean? So I have 4 tattoos now, I think. I got 2 when I was 18 and then 2 in the last year. So my first one was this circle on my chest, which has actually got stretch marks through it. So it used to be like more of a circle, but now it's a bit like odd shaped, but that's fine. The circle was a reminder that I am whole regardless of what stage of my transition I'm in. And yeah, that's it. My second tattoo was this, which is patience, which I got like a couple days after this one. And that was also a reminder to be patient, because I was at the beginning of waiting for my lower surgery. Who knew that like 10 years later I would still be waiting? The next one I got was the phrase trans bodies are ethereal on my thigh. Oh, I totally forgot, I actually have 5 tattoos. The weekend of Trans Pride, I was meant to get my nipples tattooed, like medically restoratively, but that didn't work out because of the heat wave, so I decided to get a different tattoo with a trans artist. And I've made a postcard before that says trans bodies are ethereal, or ethereal? Ethereal? I can't remember. I just felt like the week around Trans Pride was so transformative for me and my identity that I wanted to celebrate trans people somehow, the community somehow. So I just got that written on my leg, and it was stick and poke, and it was great. It was a great experience. The tattoo artist was Limp Wrist on Instagram. And then I got my nipples reconstructively tattooed just to make them a bit more symmetrical and circular. That was done by someone called Lucy in, I can't remember where they live, but it was down south still. Oh, I actually have 6 tattoos. I totally forgot about the one on my arm. It's because I barely see it. I got a sunflower like seedling for my sister in January this year. That was because my sister loved sunflowers and I just wanted to remember her. It was like 16 years since she passed away and she was 16, so it felt like a big moment where she had been gone for as long as she had been here, so I wanted to like remember that. So I've got a sunflower seedling and there's 2 leaves, so one for me and one for her. And my most recent tattoo is the scientific diagram of the butterfly cocoon on my calf. That one's got a couple of meanings, one being like an ode to my transition and cocoons being a symbol of like starting a new life. I really loved the idea of it being labelled like a biology book. I just feel like that was a bit different. And then it's a paper kite butterfly because they are found in Thailand. And I wanted to celebrate that part of my life. I grew up in Thailand for like 17 years. I started my transition there, so it felt nice to have something like that on my leg. Next question is, what is your connection to tarot cards? I've tried connecting to religion and spirituality for a lot of my like teenage life. After my sister died, I was like desperately searching for reassurance or like a connection to her somehow. I tried to get into Christianity, but that didn't really stick. I got really into Buddhism for a while and I found that really helpful, but then that didn't feel right because I didn't really know if it was my place. So the only thing that I really like connected with was spirituality and kind of just like hoping that the universe is more than just like matter, you know. My sister had a big connection to dragonflies because they are like a symbol of the afterlife, so her thing was like, if you see a dragonfly, then that's me. When I've been at my lowest points, I've gone to tarot cards to kind of give me reassurance, and I usually find myself asking, when I'm asking the universe or a deck of cards to give me some kind of answers or signs, I find myself just asking as if I'm asking my sister, which is really nice, and then I feel like the answers are coming from her as well. This question actually inspired me a bit because I haven't designed the back of the tarot cards yet. I just totally forgot that that was something I had to do, but now I'm thinking about it. I think I want to do something around dragonflies just so she's a part of the tarot deck with me. I think that would be really special. Next question is, have you ever thought about doing voice work? This is interesting to me because I've always been really self-conscious about my voice, but then once I started doing videos, a lot of people were talking about my voice and how it's soothing, which is really nice to hear. I haven't thought about doing voice work, but I do monthly podcasts on my Patreon, and that's just like half an hour or an hour where I sit down and just chat about what's happened in the last like month or so. So if you would like to listen to me for hours at a time, then feel free to sign up to my Patreon. The podcast is available for all of my patrons, so I think it's like £1 a month or something. Next question is, what's your favourite place in Brighton? I don't really know. I would probably say the beach, which I feel like is a bit of a cop-out maybe, I don't know. But I just love the beach. I love that it's pebbles and sand doesn't get in your bed. I love watching the sunset at the beach, and I love that I can see it from my window. It's just a very soothing place, and a good place to cry if you need a sob, especially if it's raining at the beach. Last question is, are you content? I think so. I think it's hard when you have a history of mental illness and mental health difficulties, because I'm up and down a lot of the time, but I would say that I'm at a place right now where most of my days feel good. I remember when I was younger just being really upset because I felt like every single day had something that made me feel really low in it, so I was like desperately wishing for just one day that was good all day, and now I feel like I rarely have days that aren't so good. And I mean my mental health is always quite difficult and still there, but I don't think about it being so hard anymore, so I feel like life is good. I have a really nice flat. I'm in a really queer place. I am working on my goals. I have a business that I run. I can watch my favourite shows on TV at night. I can cook whatever I want to cook. And I can go to the beach whenever I want. And yeah, life is just nice. Okay, that's all of the questions about me. I will make another video about your questions about transitioning, so stay tuned for that. If you have any more questions, let me know as well. But yeah, take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.